Hey foodies, and welcome to Cooking with Kiana. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make honey garlic wings. These wings are crispy, sweet and savory. They have a nice little spice to it, and they pack a ton of flavor. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to make the best honey garlic wings. So here's all the ingredients we will be using for this recipe. You need about 12 chicken wings, fresh ginger or ginger paste, 1 scotch bonnet pepper, 4 garlic cloves, 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 4 tablespoons of honey. I'm using raw and unfiltered honey. However, you can use the regular honey and it'll be just as fine. 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, a half of a Maggi cube, 2 teaspoons of creole seasoning, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. All right, so let's start cooking. So first I'm going to start off by chopping up 4 garlic cloves. And you want to make sure you chop these finely because this is going in our sauce. And of course, we don't want big chunks of garlic in the sauce. By the way, the measurements should pop up on your screen, but if you guys want the full recipe, be sure to check the description box. I will be posting the full recipe and step-by-step directions. Once I'm done chopping that up, I'm just going to set that aside in a bowl, and I am going to prepare the scotch bonnet pepper. So for this pepper, I'm going to cut this in half, but I just want to tell you guys, be careful, maybe use some gloves because this pepper is spicy and it does burn. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out half of my seeds. If you don't like spicy food like that, I would suggest taking out all the seeds, but I highly recommend don't skip using the pepper. It's going to give it a nice flavor, and I'm just going to chop that finely and set that aside. So for the ginger, I'm going to cut a piece that's probably about 2 to 3 inches thick, and I'm going to make sure I remove all of that skin. Once I have done that, I'm just going to take a grater and I'm going to grate this up. If you don't have a grater or you don't feel like doing this, you can go to the store and get some ginger paste. If you're going to do that, just make sure you use about 2 teaspoons. So once I've prepared the ginger, the scotch bonnet pepper, and the garlic, it's time to get started on this chicken. You want to make sure you pat dry your chicken and there's no moisture in it. And I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of creole seasoning and then 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm not going to add too much seasoning because I already know that sauce is where a lot of that flavor is going to come from. All right, so you just want to make sure you mix everything together and the seasoning is well coated over all of the chicken. So now in a separate bowl, you want to add a half a cup of flour and a half a cup of cornmeal. I like to use cornmeal just to make my chicken crispier. Especially since we're going to be adding sauce, I'm telling you, you do not want a soggy chicken. All right, so now I'm going to add in my seasoning. I'm adding a teaspoon of creole seasoning and a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then I'm just going to give all of that a good mix. So now I'm adding in the wings that we just seasoned, and you just want to make sure it's evenly coated in that flour. Now, if you want, you could take a Ziploc bag. You can add the flour to there along with the chicken and just give that a good shake. That's another way that you can coat your chicken if you don't want to do it this way. All right, so now I'm going to get started with that honey garlic sauce. So first you want to start off by putting your stove on low heat. That's very important. And I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of water and a half of a Maggi cube. If you don't have a Maggi cube, you can always use 1/4 of a cup of chicken broth. Then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of vinegar. Then I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now we add in the garlic, the ginger, and the scotch bonnet pepper. And then of course, after you want to give that a good stir. Next, I'm going to add in the chili powder, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of that. Then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And remember, you could add less or more depending on how spicy you want yours to be. Now I'm going to add in about 4 tablespoons of honey. Now we're going to give that a good stir and make sure everything is well combined. Also, you want to make sure your stove is on low heat, and I'm telling you, give it about maybe 15 minutes. and this sauce is gonna turn into a syrupy like consistency, and it's gonna be amazing. So it has been about 8 minutes, and as you can see, the sauce is already starting to bubble up and thicken a bit. It's almost time to take it off. I'm just gonna let it get a little bit thicker. And this is the exact consistency that you want. At this point, you want to make sure you take it off of your stove because you don't want to burn that sauce. So now it's time to fry the chicken. So first you want to make sure your stove is on a medium to high heat. You also want to make sure your oil is hot enough. An easy way to check this is by adding about a pinch of flour to your pan, and if it sizzles up, that's how you know it's time to add in the chicken. Also want to make sure you don't overcrowd your pan with chicken because that temperature of the oil will drop and the chicken won't come out right. So if you're doing 12 wings, you might want to do 2 batches. Once it's golden brown on one side, I'm going to flip that over so the other side can cook. So we cook these wings for about 5 minutes on each side, but just keep in mind that frying times do vary depending on how big your chicken is. Once that chicken is done, you want to make sure you place it on a plate or a dish with a napkin underneath it just to drain out some of that oil. So now I'm going to add in my other batch of chicken, and I'm going to repeat those same steps. Now, if you're looking for a healthy alternative and you still want to make these wings, you can put these in the air fryer, or you can skip the flour, place these in the oven on 350, turn it up on broil for the last 5 minutes, and you'll have some crispy, baked honey garlic wings. So now that I'm finally done, I'm just going to repeat the same steps from before, and I'm going to take that chicken and add it to that plate with the napkin underneath, obviously to drain out the rest of the oil. So now that the wings are done, it is time to add the sauce. And as you can see, I'm not drowning it in sauce. I'm adding just enough to coat each wing. If you add too much sauce, the wings will get soggy, and that is not what you want. So now I'm just tossing it in that sauce and making sure each piece is evenly coated. And guys, let me tell you, these wings were delicious. They were sweet and savory. They had just the right amount of spice to them, and they were very crispy. I hope you guys enjoyed this wings recipe. If you guys want to see more videos from me, be sure to subscribe to my channel, as well as hitting that notification bell. That way you don't miss a new recipe every week. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.